Kennedy, of course, and I got my co-host with me, Chris Coffee, right now, looking dapper as can be. What the hell, Chris? What happened? You didn't look like this yesterday, man. What's going on?
Man, I was tired of looking homeless, so I had to freshen up a bit.
Homeless indeed, Chris. No, but today this is gonna be a very interesting show, Chris, because we had JJ on the show. We have him on plenty of times. He's one of our favorite guests on here, and he had so much more to say about this alpha group we're about to have on the show. So we just have to figure out was why he has it at such high regard, man. He called it one
Yeah,
A, one B.
I know, man.
JJ.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. Yeah, so we'll be introducing them in a second, but before that, this show is brought to you by Ninjalerts. It's a phone and web app. You receive a notification whenever your friend, your favorite whale or influencer mints, buy or sells an NFT. And of course, we are doing a giveaway, a 6 month subscription giveaway to one lucky. Oh, I got the wrong one over here. So one lucky holder. Hold on, let me post it up real quick.
Yeah, I
All you
got
have
you.
to do is visit ninjaalerts.com/slash giveaway
Oh,
for your chance of winning one of these lucky 6 month subscription. That's about a $450 value. It's right there under ninjaalerts.com/slash giveaway. Without further ado, Chris, what's up, man? Why you looking so dapper? Where'd you go? Where you going, man? What's going on?
I finally got a cut, man. I've been pushing it off for a while, and I was like, you know what? Just got back from financial conference. I need a cut.
The
I
MLM.
need a fresh cut. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what you learned. You gotta
I
look
need to
dapper
blend
if you're gonna
in.
scam people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta look dapper if you're gonna scam people.
Yeah,
Take it hard.
indeed, man. It looks good. It looks
Appreciate it,
good. Now
man.
I gotta go get a cup, man. Jeez, got me looking all bummy.
I had to
How
keep the
dare you,
mustache. I had to keep
Chris?
the mustache though.
Oh,
I
that's
got
your
to keep
brand
that going.
now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I like you gonna start twisting it and doing
I don't
all
know. We'll go
that kind
that.
of
I don't know.
stuff.
We'll go that extreme, man. I'll leave that to crypto stash.
Okay, okay. So before we get our guest up, there is one major news that just got. It's about the Doodles. Let me share my screen real quick. The Doodles just announced that they raised $54 million, Chris. Like, wow. Now this is a big deal
Yeah, that's
because
crazy.
yeah, it's a big deal because they haven't made a single post in months. People, it's been like a running joke on Twitter. Like they
Yeah.
raised money and then this disappeared for months. Not even a shit post. They couldn't even hire like a shit poster to just a vibe specialist is what they call it now. They couldn't even hire that to keep everything running. And all of a sudden, the first thing after months is that they just raised 54 mil, as you can see right here, and it's a Forbes article and everything. So that brings back that because when you were gone, Chris, Smack Talk and I had this conversation about accepting VC money, and he was talking crap about the gutter cats because they weren't accepting VC money.
Yeah.
They just raised 2 mil off us the holders, but then every other project raises funds and they still their floor price doesn't move. It doesn't budge. This went up about for like a minute or two. It jumped up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
well point 0.3 or so, then just jumped right back down, man. Like only time will tell how this kind of works out, man. How do you see this turning out? Do you think the floor price gonna go up with this or
Yeah, I think it'd temporarily go up. I still don't like that Doodles disappeared for as long as they did, and I get it was a family emergency. I think the creator or the founder of Doodles, his dad was in the hospital. Somebody he was really close
really?
to was in the hospital, and like I think even ended up dying. So like
Really? Oh
it was a
shit!
real
I had no
reason
clue.
why they disappeared. But
The whole team's dad died, or
I was about to say you're still responsible for so much money in your ecosystem and so many people believing in you that like a pass off ownership or pass off not ownership pass off a responsibility of keeping people up to date with what's going on instead of just kind of doing not a pity party. Like I get it, it's a serious issue, but like you know what I mean. Like I don't like that at all. Like it's something bad things have happened to me in the past couple of years. I can't just abandon my coffee shop and just like expect people to understand like what happened. Like no, I have to get somebody in my place saying, look, take care of stuff while I'm gone. This stuff happens. So that was a big. I'm still skeptical in Doodles after that because like if they disappeared for a few months this time, what stops them from next year at this time? Like But I don't want to hold that over their head. Maybe it's a great thing. Guess we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, bro, and that values them around 700 mil. That's a lot of money, bro. How they gonna bring back value? Only time will tell. But 54 mil, and this seems kind of like the standard now for all these early NFT projects to just go to the VCs for funding now, as opposed to raising like creating another companion. And I think. Do you think the community kind of are tired of that? Adding more like companions to like BAYC, BAKC, BADC? Like, do you think
Yeah.
they tired of that mode of raising funds, or like it's kind of normal to just go to VC for funding now?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, there's definitely a amount that they just need to cut and not make it like keep going. But some of these projects have long term vision, and at the end of the day, a couple thousand extra, even like six figure extra of that project is not enough if the project takes off and it's mass adopted. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's too soon for some projects to keep on accepting funding without really putting things on the table.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to ask our guest to join us in this conversation. I did
Yeah,
introduce it a little bit earlier. We do have the founder of Hideout, which is the top one A, according to JJ, one
yeah.
A, one B in this whole NFT space. Hideout is top alpha group there is. So let's invite him up here and talk to him. Wicked, what's up, man? Hold on,
What's up,
round of
Wicked?
applause.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, how you doing
Hello,
today, man?
hello.
So I'm doing pretty good. I don't think Hideout is necessarily the best. I think there's a lot of really good
Oh,
outputs at the top.
damn. Oh
Um,
shit. That's
and I
like
think no, I think being realistic is good, right? And I think there's a lot of really
okay.
good ones at the top, and having a good relationship between all of them makes a lot more sense. Aiming to just be number one doesn't make sense because like a tide rises all boats, and all the boats will rise together. So
Sure.
Oh, you're a
I want to give
political
some
one, huh?
I want to give some
no,
context real quick
mhm.
to when we say the top. So we asked one of the best traders in the world. He's like top like 700 about his top alpha groups, and Hideout was number one. But the fact that Hideout wasn't even on there. So when we say top, we're talking about the top alpha groups that some of the best traders are talking about. So not we don't know you enough to say you're number one, but from some of the best traders, you are in that top tier alpha group. So just for context.
Yeah, I think we're one of the good ones right now, but I still think there's other groups that are equal to us. Some maybe slightly better on different things, where we excel at other things, right? We have a very good voice chat and so on, where others are lacking in that. But some other groups are better at certain things, right? The specific trading for the market. So it all just depends what you're looking for as a trader as well, because not every group is going to fit your needs, and you should find the group that fits your needs the best.
Okay, so now it's our mission today to find out why this top level trader said you guys are the top. So we're trying to figure out what you guys offer for your members. But before we get to that, we do have to ask you, how did you, Wicked, get into NFTs?
So I used to be a gamer for 10 years, basically, a professional League of Legends player. And
Really?
I quit League of Legends and streaming to go into NFTs because I dabbled in for fun. I entered crypto last year, not 2 years ago, and I just wanted to test it out for fun and see how it went. And it was going extremely well, so I was like, I might as well just go full time NFTs instead of doing streaming and playing League of Legends because it's just more profitable and makes more sense, especially in the short term.
I think Ken and I
Oh,
are both kind of similar on that as well. I mean, I at least speak for myself, but I was playing games a lot, and then I decided to like kind of execute my time a little bit better with like things that could bring me money. So I originally got into stocks and then crypto, and then I realized that NFTs kind of combine the two. One day, we have a real good play to earn games, then I get to do both. So
yeah, same
Um,
here.
Currently, I'm kind of not that bullish on play to earn games. I think most of the games we've seen so far have been pretty bad. It's basically just a Ponzi where there's no real game. It's just stake some money here, watch them go up, and then play around with some numbers and different things you can stake and different levers you can pull. And then whoever does that the best ends up with the most money, right? But there's no real game in it. It's just gamification, I guess, and
do
game
you think
theory.
there's any room for sustainability in the gaming ecosystem, like in the future? Because like we're obviously early right now.
I mean, a lot of the ideas that people have, I think, are terrible for play to earn. I think it just doesn't make sense. But if you look at something very simple like Counter Strike, right? Counter Strike have the entire Steam market where they sell skins, and that's working perfect for them, and it's done for a long time right now. So it's obviously a proven strategy. Does it have to be NFTs? Not necessarily, but it could be NFTs, right? And that gives the ownership to the people that actually buy those things. So I do think there's a lot of places you could put them in, and you could have NFTs in gaming. But a lot of the dreams that people have are just unrealistic, and some of them just don't make sense.
Do you have any offhand to mention? Like,
I
how do you
mean,
feel
just
about Illuvium?
I haven't looked into Illuvium too much. I believe that's the card game kind of thing, Pokemon style, something like that.
Yeah,
If I'm not wrong.
Chris is bullish on it. I just wanted you to deflate his bags real quick, if you will.
I'm not. I have 2 ILV. It's not like I'm
Oh,
heavily
wait, when'd you
staked.
buy it, bro? I just looked at the price recently. When'd you
I
buy
think it was around 100. I don't know what it's at right now. Is it bad right now? I don't even
it?
want to look.
Don't look, bro. I'll
Oh
save
man.
you. Don't look.
Yeah. Oh
So
well,
so
I
yeah,
bought 2.
from my perspective, I think if you want to do play to earn, the best is mobile games right now because they're already used to like somewhat of a, I don't know if I want to call it a scam system, but they put in a lot of money, like Diablo Immortals and so on, right? And it's obviously
Yes.
max extraction, and play to earn would work well in that kind of system. Where PC players are much more careful about spending their money, they don't buy as much as mobile gamers do, and it's also harder to spend money on a PC. Plus, the games are more expensive if you want to compete. So, I think most of the games we'll see for play to earn is going to be mobile in the beginning, at least.
Yeah, I can see that. Especially, we spoke about this yesterday. How the player doesn't know it's an NFT tied to these assets. Like they don't see the inner workings of it. That's kind of how we kind of move on to the next level. It's not clunky. You don't notice it there. It's not. You don't have to go through the wallet transactions to play. Like it's you don't have to sign your ledger to to earn money. Like it's when we get rid of all those, then I think we're pretty much going up from there towards mass adoption, in my opinion. So you don't currently have any P to E in your view at all. Like you're bullish on all the current ones out. I mean,
I
not
do
bullish. I mean
have
bearish. I'm sorry.
I do have a bunch of P2E coins and a bunch of P2E stuff, but that's not because I think the game is going to be amazing. That's just because I think the price is going to go up, right? So it's completely two different things. But I think for a long time, you won't really see a good P2E game, and that's okay. I mean, if you look at a lot of the ones that have launched in Ethereum, but like Raid Party and so on, I mean, they're all crashed, right? Cool Cats, the Pets, I mean, that didn't go so well either, right? So, I mean, like, it's not even to
No.
flame these projects individual because every single P2E have failed. Like, there was the Wizard and Dragons, the Bear game, Wolf game. Wolf game's actually doing some decent, I guess, but overall, most of them have crashed.
Yeah, pretty much all of them crashed, man. Because I have my bags on crypto raiders, and that's on the ground right now, bro. It sucks, but such is the early days. Whichever one can make it out of this bear market, there's gonna be a lot of upside to it. But a lot of them are just repetitive, man. They're pretty boring. Like you just do the same thing over and over again in hopes of collecting invisible coins. It doesn't last too long, man. But we're just gonna have to move on a little bit. Just talk a little bit more about Hideout. How did you start that? How was it founded?
So Hideout initially came from a group called Caviar, and the goal we had a friend group of mine. We just wanted to be free because we thought that made the most sense, right? Because if you have a free group, we can invite people and kick people. Then you can keep people that are only trying to contribute and actually want to be a part of making the group good. And all the ones that just want to lead and just extract value from the group, you can remove them over time, right? So over time, the group should only be getting better and better. And the owner at one point wanted to make the group paid. So at that point, I left, and then a bunch of people followed. And that's basically how Hideout was born. We currently have 8 founders, though, because we want to
Eight
share it
founders.
a
Okay.
little bit.
So it's free?
Yeah, it's free.
Really? JJ didn't mention this was free. I thought it was a paid service.
No. So we chose to do it free. We only have 200 members right now, and we kick people very frequently because by keeping it free, I can extract value because all the traders are really good, and I can improve myself, right? And then I can trade better. So even though I don't get a big bag and like all people are paying for the service, I'm still increasing my bag because I'm actually becoming a better trader and I'm getting more information flow, right? So it is free, but at the same time, I'm also benefiting just like every other member is.
That makes sense. And you guys, like, periodically when you kick, have applications open back up for those slots that were kicked. And a follow up question to that is, I'm assuming you get kicked based on inactivity or not giving, like not putting back in, opposed to like just keep on taking out.
So we have applications, or we scout out people and find people we want to invite to the group. So it really depends how we invite people. We want to try and do it in as many different ways as possible to remove bias, because there's going to be some people that are really good at writing applications, and you're going to be like, wow, these are amazing. But eventually that's going to run dry, right? But then there's some people that are really good traders, but they have no idea how to write an application. And missing out on those people would make no sense. So we try to do it in a lot of different ways and always change it. So we are able to hit every single market in that sense. Regarding kicking people, we just kick people based on inactivity, usefulness, and basically like how good are you for the group, and do you actually want to be in here and try and contribute?
Okay. So like, do you guys cap the membership or it's open indefinitely? Like it has to be 200 max, or there's some leeway in that.
So we don't cap it. We don't really care about the number. It's actually been going down because we've been kicking more than we've been inviting. We mostly just care about what is the health of the Discord. Do we need more people? Would having more people be healthier, or would kicking more people be healthier, right? Like, should the number go up or down based on how active our current members are? So because the activity for each member is going up and up and up, then we don't need as many members, right? So the members have been going down.
So,
Oh,
would you
okay.
say you care about activity more or usefulness more? So, like, would you rather somebody who like is
GM, GM,
active
GM,
like
GM,
no, not
GM.
that, but like, hours a day they're on there talking, discussing, blah blah blah? Or would you rather somebody like JJ who's like, hey guys, I know how to use pseudo swap pools, and here's how I do it, and explains it really well once a week?
Um, so I think it's a mixture, right? Because you want to have an active chat, and you want to have a community that always seems like it's fun to be in. So that's really important. So if we only had one mix of the people that are only there once like every day or so on, then you want to increase the member cap, right? We've had a lot of people that are interesting to hang out with and also have good information. And then you have a few people that provide only really good alpha once in a while. That's also a good mix. So it really depends what you currently have, and then you just take it from there. We currently have a bunch of members that don't type that much, and then they just come in with good information, right? And you're not going to kick those for being inactive. It doesn't make sense. But then there's also members that type all the time and provide a little bit worse quality, and those would be looked at first, right? So it just depends.
Oh, nice. How's the application process? Did you say there was an application or no application?
So last we invited, it was simply just people we found, and then the time before that, we had an application on Twitter where we got about 500 applications in a day, I think. So, but we only invited 10 out of those people and ended up kicking 7 of them after a week, I think. So it really just depends. It
And
changes every single week.
I was wondering, how do you the evaluation process before you kick somebody? How does that go? Does just one mod need to go through what they've done, or it's a group effort that you guys just reevaluate who's been invited?
So we changed that recently. Currently, we have a system where 2 mods are going through the kicking process, and then we have 2 mods going through the inviting process. So we have different people checking different things to remove bias, right? Because let's say somebody invites a friend, which we are heavily against because we don't want to be biased, but let's say it happens, then other people would be checking and be like, yeah, this guy doesn't make the cut, you know? So we try to keep it as unbiased as possible because that improves the value for everyone else.
Are you part of any paid groups yourself?
I am in some paid groups. I currently don't have any passes that are paid for, but I have gotten some passes for free. Um, I used to be in MEHQ and Origins, and then I've also been in a group called Hidden. And personally, those groups didn't fit for me because I really like somewhat of chaos that's actually organized, like organized chaos, right? I like that. I think that style fits me very well. Where I feel like in MEHQ and Origins, for example, I felt there's too many channels for every specific little thing, and it was so organized that a lot of the channels just doesn't get used that much, and I feel like I miss a lot.
Oh, okay. So the smaller it is, the less likely you are to miss any big major cooks.
Yeah, for me personally, and also I really like voice chat, right? So we heavy on voice chat. We often have 10, 20, 30 people on voice chat, even though we're only 200
Really?
members. And then we also game together and do other things, right? Because that builds community and that actually makes people closer to each other, which keeps the Discord much better in a bear market, for example, where some Discords have been going downhill.
So you never see a reason to raise funds in any way for Hideout?
Um, I think raising funds would be pretty decent, but the problem is I don't know how we would want to raise the funds, and the funds we would need would only be something like 2 to 4 ETH, right, for the treasury. I could obviously just give that myself; it's not really a big deal. But at the end of the day, I don't think we need that much money. I know a lot of Discords are raised millions or like hundreds of thousands, and we could probably do the same. But like, what's the point if you don't know what that money would be used for, besides just filling our pockets, right? But
You
Yeah,
don't
that
want to
makes
throw
sense.
parties, bro?
yeah, I'm not really into throwing the parties. I don't really see any benefit in that for our members.
Okay. So since it's more of a tight knit group, what was the last cook you could remember that you guys had, like major cook?
I mean, a lot of people got in on the Icos, but there was also the Hoshibashi that minted very recently. Those went
Yeah.
up to an E for 2 ETH, I think. I think 2 ETH actually.
Wait, mushy mushy, or
Hoshibashi or
there's
something like
one
that.
that
It's
is
Japanese.
currently at like double O's right now. I don't think they look like mushrooms.
No, it's not that one. It's Japanese.
Okay,
Hoshibashi Genesis. I can link it.
bro, none
I
of
don't
them
know
are
what
really
that right now.
Japanese, bro. None of them are really Japanese, man. They're all American or Eastern
I linked it
European.
in the Discord.
Okay, let me check it
These
out.
ones. They're currently 1.1 ETH.
Hold on, I gotta sign in. Well, yeah, we might pull it up a little. So, how did you guys like? What was your entrance and exits on these? Do you guys like announce when to exit? Because usually a lot of alpha groups know when to enter. They never really tell you when to exit, and a lot of members exit. Then some get left holding the bags because they don't really know that this is not a forever collection.
So we actually run a completely different system. We hate alpha callers. We don't want alpha callers, and also none of the founders or anything like that is alpha callers. Because let's say I was calling something, the only thing I'm really doing is bringing other people to buy the same thing I just bought to pump my own bags, right? We don't want alpha callers. We want every trader to kind of be able to fend for themselves, and then we just want a massive information flow that gives people the opportunity to buy. So digis, a lot of us minted them, so it's free. The raft was also minted by some, which is similar to Digis. I don't know if you guys remember raft. Is those little boats of things? There's 100. They went up to like 16 ETH or something as well. I don't know what that right now. Let me check that 9 ETH right now. Hoshibashis, people started buying it 0.0 free, I believe. I didn't buy that one. But overall, we don't really look for alpha callers because, again, it's just pumping your own bags, I feel like, and it doesn't make sense to have in a group that is actually everybody fending for themselves.
So would you just say more like a information, the caller for lack of better words, like, this is a project I'm looking at and here's why, or would that be too close to an alpha caller?
No, I mean, basically everyone is calling, right, their own things. Like, I'm
Yeah.
looking at this. I think this is interesting. I think it's really cool. I'm going to be minting this. Do you guys see art blocks coming up in 1 hour? What do you guys think? Those kind of things. Because then you can just make your own decision, right? You don't need to have one guy dedicating people and be like, everybody buy this, exit at this price, because it's just a pump and dump. Like, let's be honest, that's what it is, right? We just give people
Yes,
the information and they do it whatever they want with it.
but yes, most of it are pump and dumps, bro. That's kind of what a lot of alpha groups kind of do. But so do you when you get the information, like let's see, you guys do have an application to get in. Like people that get in, they have to be smart enough to know that it's not they don't have to hold on forever. Or like what was your exit for Dajigaku? Because I know it sat for like about a month, right? And then it really
Uh,
exploded.
it went up pretty quickly. I minted a lot of them, uh,
Okay.
over 10, but I exited
Damn.
all of mine under 1 ETH. So obviously I didn't catch the peak or anything like that. I exited pretty fastly in Digis. Some other people hold it till the tops. They did better than me on that one, right? And that's what I mean. The people don't really know the perfect exit most of the time. You're not going to get every trade perfect. So some people in the group got them really perfect, hit everything, and it was amazing. Some people were buying, then I was selling, and they ended up winning more than me, right? And I think it's much better to just have a system with a lot of quality traders that can all talk and communicate with each other and learn from each other, and everybody's just improving instead of having buy this, do that, and you don't improve, right? You just end up with the same thing where you depend on one guy to tell you what to do.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. How do you go? How do you pick Dajigaku? Like, how do you do your research into finding out what's a good cook?
So we were one of the earlier groups seeing it, and we saw the website. A lot of people have been buying waifu stuff and anime stuff anyway, so like people have been minting that, and it was free. And then I looked into the Twitter account. I saw the Twitter account and I saw who followed it. And at that point, I was like, okay, these people follow it. A lot of people are buying that I know of. I should just buy a lot of these. So I tried to buy as many as possible. I tried to bot it in the first place, but the bot didn't work. So I had to start buying in different wallets because it was one per wallet. So you had to change browsers and open different wallets and so on. It was a
It
mess.
was all free.
Yeah, they're free. Like you had to pay the
Wow.
transaction, but
Oh, that was nice. That's a pretty good cook, man. Do you see anything else coming up that some alpha you could drop on us real quick? Some gems, because we're trying to mint some things for free that goes up to 16 ETH too, bro. like
so this is another interesting thing. I don't actually look that fine through the future most of the time. I take it generally one day at a time, and most of the alpha I use is within the same day or next day. So I don't look at something and go like, I want to mint this project in 2 weeks and this is going to be amazing. Because I feel like most of those projects will end up, everybody knows about them, right? So what's the point? If everybody knows about it, it's probably going to go down more likely than up.
But how do
That's
you
true.
like ensure you're able to? A lot of projects you have to like prepare in advance to even be able to mint it. You know, like I have to try to either grind for that whitelist, be on the use pre-mint to be on the allow list, or you know, it's not very often I feel like a good project drops to where the whitelist isn't filled.
I mean, I think it's mixed, right? Like Digi drop that was free and you could just mint it as a stealth drop. You had Raft as a stealth drop. You had Dom dropping corruptions. I think Loot was stealth as well. There's a lot of stealth drops that are good. Regarding pre-mints and so on, the only one I really have that I care about is probably Valhalla. But even then, I don't know what the price is going to be, right? And I don't even know if I'm going to buy it yet because I will wait till the day and see what's the sentiment on the day instead of what's the sentiment like a month out or weeks out, because everything changes so fast in the space, and whatever people think right now might change in 2 weeks, you know?
So give us a little more input or inside look at how you guys do in the Hideout Discord. Do you guys do giveaways? Do you guys have collabs, the different pre-mint collabs? Like how does that work on there? Or is it just voice chats is what you're most big on?
So we have giveaways, and then we have, let me see, we have like 20 different chats, but most of them are used is probably like within 10. Then in our main chat, we have a thread system where people are using threads for every single project because we don't want to have a billion chats, right? So every project that people are into, they make a thread for it, and then people can find that thread. So it's not messy at all, because if you're not interested in, let's say, doodles, then you're not in a doodle thread, right? Then you just don't see it at all. So we have chats for everything. We have information going in. We have, this is coming up. This is alpha channels only. Like basically, this is things that are coming up. And then we have a chat, which is just a mess where everything goes in here. Just post whatever you want, right? Or just chat, have fun, whatever.
Wow, that's a lot going on over there. So it's different threads per, and it just disappears like other discords where if you're not interested, it doesn't pop up under.
Yeah,
under your
exactly.
thread.
Like you have to sign in to see it consistently underneath, right? So if you're not signed into that specific project, then you won't even see it pop up.
Okay. So you said something you're looking forward to is Valhalla.
Yeah,
Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, I think Valhalla is interesting, especially because they come from gaming, and I mean they're extremely pro gaming. I think a lot of them are gamers themselves. Sadly, they're more bigger on Valorant than League of Legends, but that's okay. Overall, I think gaming communities are generally stronger than most communities, and you see that in a lot of projects too.
Okay, I'm trying to find it on Twitter. It's Valhalla. I don't think I spelled it right. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to find out my personal so I could pull it up and could see what like different aspects. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Yeah. Join Valhalla. Okay. All right, I'll post it up right now. All right, so we just want to go through like how do you go ahead and choose like how this is a good investment? Like, what's your thought processes of seeing if first you said if people you know are following, correct? Is that's one of the things you look into, and then what?
So what I try to do is I look at who's following it. Then generally I try to understand how each person operates in the space, right? So some people just follow everything they see, other people only follow things they really believe in, and so on. So understanding each trader and their characteristics is really important to me. So I will look at every single one and be like, what does this guy usually do? How bullish is this signal, and so on. And then after that, I'll see in my Discord or in the Discord and be like, how many people are talking about this? How many people are talking about in other alpha groups? Like, what is the communication about this? And generally, if it's extremely positive, then it's generally a pretty good bet, right? If it's a known thing coming up.
Yeah, and so it's just the people and the alpha groups that talk about it. That those are you don't check the team, you don't check the roadmaps, like you don't look at the lore anymore, or because I see that's not really a thing anymore in this space. No arts,
Um,
no lores, no none of that.
I mean, I've been to Discord. I check the Discord activity. I think Discord activity is pretty good, and it's also important to see if it's real activity, or if it's just been like, "Yo, guys, farming for whitelist, grind, grind, grind. Please give me whitelist." So knowing who's in the project is also important, but that's only if you want to have long holds, right? If you just want to buy and sell, then you don't really need to care too much about that. You just need to figure out how many people are probably looking to buy this project, right? So it mostly depends what your strategy is with the specific project.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good, man. Just I'm still trying to find out. So Valhalla is something on your view. What else can you give us, man? What we need cooks out here, man. Chris needs it. You should see what he's been
Honestly,
buying recently. Oh my god.
I don't have that much else in my views. And I also do coins, right? For example, I was shorting Lune C. I don't know if you guys know what that is, Luna Classic, because that one went up to zero point 0.6 almost, or 0.0006, but yeah. And it crashed really hard after that. So I also look at those kind of things, like coins that are overvalued. And I mostly do it from day to day basis. I don't like trading long term because the space is so unstable, and long term is just very risky. For long term, I mainly do ETH, Bitcoin, and then some other few coins. But like most of my things are pretty short term.
What do
What
you follow those coins closely, or do you use like a certain something to like watch like different types of tokens that you choose?
I don't follow specific coins because I feel like it's unnecessary. I follow the timeline and I follow the social medias, and then I see when people are going crazy euphoric about coins. I'm like, that's probably a little bit too much, you know. And at that point, I just look into the coin, figure out what's going on in this coin, why it's going up so much, and why people are going so crazy about it. And at that point, I try to find the top, and then I short it. And if I want to long things, it's mainly the opposite, right? Like, what do nobody knows about? I heard it from like this one friend in maybe in DMs and an alpha group or wherever, and he's talking about it, but I don't really see it anywhere else. I look into it and I see like this is actually a pretty good coin. This can do a lot. I think a lot of people would be bullish about it if they knew about it. I think that's another thing. But I try never to enter then people are talking about it. Like if a lot of people are talking about it, I don't want to be a buyer because eventually it's probably going to dump.
Now, when you say you
yeah.
short it, like what do you use? Like, do you use a certain platform to short?
I just use Binance, but I mean all the platforms
Binance.
are pretty much similar, right? So
Gotcha.
Okay, so since you're short minded when it comes to coins, how do you feel about NFTs? Are there any projects you see yourself holding for more than let's say 3 months or 6 months, like long term holds, or you flip everything?
there's some projects I hold, but I mean, I don't want to show my bags, and also those are like really long term. I can just give an easy example because it's not shilling my bags. When I buy art blocks, I tend to hold it for a really long time because I mean, art might do really well in the future. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't, but that's okay too. But most PFP projects and so on is generally short term.
I see. What's the longest you've ever held a PFP project?
I mean, I have so many things in my bag that it's probably a year by now, right? But
You got some
but
bags, huh?
but that might
Some
just be because
hidden?
they're not sellable. No, I don't hide things. It's mostly just my
Oh, you
wallet. I don't even
don't?
know how many NFTs I have. But I also use a lot of different wallets since I bought and so on. So it's spread across a lot of different wallets.
Okay. So before we started the show, we were talking about Doodles. They just raised about $54 million and the floor price hasn't really budged. We had this SmackDown and I had this argument last week. Like, how could a PFP or any NFT project bring value back to the holders? Like, if the team is raising this much funds and still the holders are not benefiting in any way in terms of floor price go up. Like, do you see any way that projects could reward their holders? Like,
Um,
that
I
actually
think it's
works?
hard to reward holders. I mean, you saw Moonbirds giving out a fanny pack, right? That wasn't so great. And then you have Doodles for the evaluation. I actually think this was announced at NFT New NYC, but they didn't announce the numbers. So it's just announced that was happening, I believe. I was in bed when it came out with the numbers and everything. If I hadn't been in bed, I would have been buying Doodles just because I knew short term it would probably pump because people are like, oh my God, so much money. This is crazy, right? And you just like buy it, sell a little bit higher, and then get out, right? And somebody else will hold that back. But 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 I wasn't really interested in holding Doodles for long term. Personally, I don't like Doodles that much. I feel like Doodles go into the same category as Cool Cats. I mean, if they really want to benefit the holders, they have to somewhat become like similar to Disney, right? They have to be child friendly and take that market share. And I think that's very hard because a lot of NFT people, I mean, there's young people in NFTs, right? 18 to maybe 35, and a lot of those people don't have kids yet. So a lot of those people might not really care too much about that, right? So personally, I would prefer to buy, if I had to buy anything, Bored Apes or something like that, right? Mutants, but I don't really like blue chips too much. I think it's too much risk compared to the reward.
Yeah, but some of them give like the apes give out a lot of rewards when they raise that invisible coin. They give a lot of rewards to the holders, but that's the kind of like one of the only ways is to just create a token to give out, which at the end of the day goes all the way back down to zero, and then now what? Now what could they do? The milk token that the Cool Cats made is pretty much useless now. Like, I haven't seen a lot of tokens that really stand the test of time yet. I mean, it's still early, but I still haven't found that yet. So just want to find like a project or a way that projects could keep continually reward holders without having to dilute the brand, quote unquote, is what they say. That's why I asked you that question, because we had that little debate last week. But we
Um,
could just
I think it's difficult, right? Because another way to look at it, we're only in NFTs for a little bit over a year now, right? Like Bored Apes are a little bit more than a year old. What can a company truly build in a 1 year's time frame, right? It's not that much. So the easy way to get money to the holders is just, oh, here's a coin, here's a new profile picture, here's some random useless stuff, right? That you can't actually use for anything. But eventually, potentially, they can bring utility by growing the company and actually getting stuff out that you can use it for. But currently, I feel like there's no real utility. And that's also why, if I was to buy a blue chip, it would probably be the number one because people generally flock to the number one, right? So it'd be either a Punk or Bored Ape or something like that. If I was to hold, but if I was to just do it on a short time frame, then Doodles on the news, buy it, drop it off really quickly, and then just get out and move on. I feel like it's a lot safer that way.
how do you feel about corporations coming into the NFT space? Do you see that as a positive? Because yesterday, Starbucks just announced that they're gonna tie their rewards program to NFTs or to the Polygon network. Do you see that as a bullish signal for us all, or is NFT still a scam?
So I'm personally very bullish on NFTs as a whole. Maybe not the blue chips, maybe not specific things, but as an ecosystem, I'm very bullish on it. And I'm also very bullish on crypto. I think getting new people into NFTs or crypto is pretty difficult unless they have a reason to get into it, right? If you get benefits by being in crypto for Starbucks, then maybe a lot of the Starbucks customers will get into NFTs because it makes sense for them, right? It's the same with a lot of fashion brands are coming into crypto and especially NFTs, where you can maybe buy cheaper clothes from the fashion brand by buying the NFT instead of the clothes, which means it's a benefit for the user to come into NFTs because now there's benefits by doing so, right? Because you save maybe $100 by buying the NFT instead of the clothes directly.
Yeah, that's a very good good example because again, this Tom Sachs also did that, give out free shoes, which was highly valued. Not a lot of people could get those because again, I tried to get them and I couldn't. So that's a little. That was a very very good one. Concepts also just did the same thing last week, I believe, where they opened up their. I forgot what it's called. One of their collaboration dunks, which is very limited. They kind of. It was still, even if you had the NFC, you still had to enter a raffle to try to get them. Which those, I think those 3x or 5x, close to 3 to 5x secondary market on those shoes. So that's value right there. And
Puma is dropping theirs today. We can claim our Pumas today.
of course, Chris
I'm
was
not.
gonna
I'm
bring up
not.
Puma.
I'm
Of
not sure how much.
course.
I mean, I'm not sure how much the physicals are going to be worth, but that's still value. I've been looking at, and I've been clear about this on the show, but like we've been looking at Ledger since it dropped, and it's still not as low as like I would want. But like if ETH drops and then Ledger continues to drop, like on the marketplace pass, I might buy one just to get the Ledger. Honestly, especially if it's around the same price.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
Because
a lot of people from my Discord actually bought the ledgers when they came out as well. Some, I believe, a bunch of them minted too. I didn't get any of those. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I know a lot of people buying on secondary for ledgers. And I mean, like, there's so many ways to bring utility to NFTs. It's just gonna take time. I mean, even as advertisement, right? Let's say Tom Brady's wallet is a public wallet, everybody knows it, right? And he decides to go out on chain and buy X company's clothes or X company's shoes. Everybody's going to see that wallet and be like, oh my God, Tom Brady just bought this. I want to buy the same as Tom Brady. I want to be like Tom Brady or like some other star, right? So it's just a really easy way for companies to use as advertisement in the future.
So is that a perfect segue to Ninja Alerts? Find and track Tom Brady's wallet with Ninja Alerts, of course. So whenever he meant something, you could get it too, just like that. Before we continue on, I do want to announce that we are also doing a giveaway for Ninja Alerts. Visit ninjalerts.com/giveaway. It's in the bottom for your chance to win a 6-month subscription to Ninja Alerts. That's a $450 value. Make sure to like this video so we could provide more content to you guys. So you
absolutely.
did mention. Wicked, you did mention that you're into coins. Like, I want to get your take on this upcoming merge. Where the merge is upon us, and that's where we're at right now for Ethereum 2.0. In your opinion, what do you think is going to happen to the price of ETH? Is this going to be positive? Like, are we going to see any changes? Like, what? How are you playing this?
So from my point of view, I try to play things safe because I don't want to take risks if I don't need to. And I also see ETH and Bitcoin as whales games where the biggest players are able to play these coins, right? If you want to have a massive advantage, you want to go into the really small coins where they're extremely undervalued or overvalued because you want to play against the weakest market participants, right? With the merge, I have no idea what's going to happen with the price. I don't even know if it's going to succeed. I assume it's going to succeed, which everybody else does, right? But it's not done yet, so who knows? Um, so I'm not really putting any bets on that. I don't really feel like that's my strongest suit, and I don't really feel like I need to either.
So you don't feel like shorting it in any way, or shorting ETH Classic, or going long ETH Classic. You're just sidelined on this one.
I am pretty much just holding my ETH, holding my USD, not really doing anything. And if I get ETH on the new chain, ETH Classic, or like old chain, I guess, then I'm just selling it and then putting onto the new chain. I mean, like, I don't really need to have that.
Yeah, I'm hoping price go up, but there's just no telling because I hear that the changes are not gonna be that quick. Like it's not gonna happen instantly after the change is complete, the last testnet or whatever the process goes. It's not. We're not just gonna save money on gas right away. It's not all just gonna be like Solana instantly. How do you feel about Solana, by the way?
Okay, so I am ETH Maxi, and I really like Arbitrum and L2s like that. Optimism as well. I don't like Solana, but on the other hand, I think there's a massive potential value in Solana. So I'm actually looking to buy Solana, but I absolutely hate Solana and I despise the chain because it goes down, there's issues and all those things. But at the same time, I feel like, I mean, there's obviously value there. A lot of people love it, and it's doing extremely well right now. Price is down from all-time high, but so is everything else. And I'm mainly just looking for an entry, a really good entry.
What's
Yeah,
your really good entry on Solana?
He
I
wants
mean,
to front run you, man. Don't say it. Don't
Yeah.
say it.
I'm not gonna say my entries. I never do that because they change from day to day, right? Like maybe I have extra money here today. I just made someone this play, and I'll just fight into Solana or whatever. So it just changes.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you don't have to give me an exact number, but like, are you like, you think it's gonna be dramatic from where it's at now, or is your entry like closer to where it's at
Oh,
now?
it's somewhat close to right now. It's not like crazy
Okay.
dramatic.
I didn't know like how bearish you were on it. That's kind of why I was asking.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty bullish on Solana.
Ready to buy $10 a token, you know?
No, it's not. It's not that crazy. Not that crazy.
Yeah, Risky thinks Ethereum is gonna go all the way down that far. but we'll see though. Yeah, currently Solana is at $35. Yeah, I've been watching it go down from 28. It stays at 31 for a while. It bounced up recently to about close to 38, and now it's kind of settling at $35. So I've been watching it, see what happens with it, but it is low. It is low, but can it go lower though? That's the
Uh,
question.
For me, I don't mind missing an entry. It doesn't really matter to me if I don't get it. Like if Solana goes to let's say $200 and I missed it, I don't really care because it doesn't matter, right? I just want to get as good an entry as I think I can. And if I miss that, which I do quite often, that's okay because when I hit, it's a pretty good hit, right? And I care more about having bigger wins than just having like a really tiny win on coins.
Which one has a bigger upside, Bitcoin or Ethereum, in your opinion?
I mean, I think Ethereum has bigger upside because it's smaller, right? But then again, I would say Solana has bigger upside than Ethereum, where Ethereum is more
Really?
stable. But I think I only hold ETH right now in Bitcoin, so I don't hold in Solana. And I think Bitcoin needs to lead the charts, as most other people think, right? It's basically Bitcoin leading. Bitcoin's probably going to lose market share over time because there's more and more coins that are useful, and there's just more money in the space that are going to be used elsewhere.
Who's gonna? You think Ethereum is gonna overtake Bitcoin at some point?
I don't think so. But I don't think it needs to either. I don't think there's a reason why it matters if Ethereum or Bitcoin is bigger. I actually prefer Bitcoin being bigger, but I think Ethereum can go up in more percentages.
How do you stake your coins right now? Do you stake any coins? Do you stake
Um,
Ethereum, Bitcoin, or anything?
I do liquidity pools. I stake different coins. I don't stake any Bitcoin or Ethereum right now, but I do have liquidity pools for Ethereum and USDC. So it all just depends on what I feel like is beneficial in the moment. And I don't like doing extremely long-term staking because there's too much risk. The only thing I do that on is like maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, but I'm not doing that right now.
So you don't agree with my 15-year stake I had on Hex?
I mean, 15 years is a long time. Who knows what happens that long?
Oh, you're 15 years, bro. Gotta play the sad music. Jeez, guy.
Yeah,
That's
man.
a long time.
And if I touch it before halfway, I lose all of it. So fun stuff.
Really?
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some
Yeah.
good Ponzonomics right
I
How did you
there.
agree to that?
I know, man. I wasn't.
Jeez.
I didn't put much up.
Okay, but still though, 15
Yeah.
years, bro.
Yeah,
He
bro.
was drinking that
I
opium.
watched it like 20x last bull run, and I couldn't touch it.
Oh man.
Damn. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is why I
fun
don't
stuff.
stake like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
What's the longest you would stake, Wicked?
Um, the longest I've been locked in staking is probably a month, I think.
Oh wow, that's really short term.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is.
that's the longest I've
I
been
thought you were
locked.
gonna say like a year.
No. I mean, if I was to stake for a year, it would only be like Ethereum or Bitcoin. I wouldn't even touch
Yeah.
any smaller coins for a year because I mean, like, they go up by they could go up like 300%, and then they could go down like by 150%, and you just lost out massively, even though you gained 100x coins. I mean, like 100% more coins. Like, who cares?
Is there
Yeah.
any coins you're long? I know you kind of said just the big ones, but like, if you had to go long on any coin besides Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I guess Solana, like, what would it be?
Um, if I had to go long on a coin that's not Solana, Bitcoin, or ETH, it would be a new coin coming out that I thought had a lot of fundamentals. I mean, for example, you guys mentioned Sudo earlier, right? With JJ.
Yes.
And I think I was the one who showed JJ Sudo in the beginning when it came out.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, you can ask him to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I showed him. I was one of the first ones talking about it in our Discord, at least. And I think pseudocoin is going to be great, but the problem is it already has a really high valuation because of what's the coin called again? I don't remember what the coin's called, but it comes from a different coin essentially, and they get a really massive market share. I think they get 41% of the coins.
41%.
And aren't you already getting an airdrop of the token if you use
That's
pseudo?
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Or
yeah,
that's who
it's
gets
X-Mon.
who get.
It's X-Mon. They get
Okay.
41% of the entire supply, right? So that's a
Oh,
lot of
got you.
it.
Got never mind. I was
that's a
thinking,
lot.
yeah.
Like, is that locked, or they could just dump it instantly?
I believe it's locked, but I also believe it's going to be decentralized, right? So if they buy enough of the coin that's unlocked, then they could probably get it unlocked. It depends. I don't actually know. But I don't have any of those. I only have from pooling. I use pseudopool a lot, and I get airdrop coins from that are not locked.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually used Pseudopool for the first time this past weekend, and yeah, it's pretty easy to use. Like, it just does it for you. I kind of like it. It's just other than part that the team doesn't get anything,
What did you
any
what did you
royalties out of
pull?
it.
What did you
You're
pull?
asking too many questions, Chris.
Well, no, like genuinely, was it like
Nah,
smaller
nah,
stuff?
nah. I ain't gonna tell you. You watch my wallet when I list
I
things
mean,
for,
I can pull it up
and
right
I,
now.
actually, it doesn't show you on there, but
Oh, it does. I'll find
yeah,
it.
I
Wait,
know that's why I don't want to tell you.
wait, you can check his wallet and see it. You can just find the pseudopool.
No, don't tell him how to do it, man, because he's the worst, man. Because when we first started this show, we showed him how to use OpenSea, and he's just been a menace with it.
He does
Like,
not show me how to use OpenSea at this show.
no, I mean we showed you some things and you just started tracking wallets like crazy, bro. This guy was telling me about when I was trying to scam. I was trying to put a whole bunch of a bundle and put I have kids, help
Yeah.
me, feed me, those type of things. He
Oh,
caught me, man.
you made a gutter clone pool, man. Dang. You
Yeah.
in charge of the gutter clone pools. How's that doing? I feel like that was good volume.
I don't know what you're talking about, Chris. I don't know
Oh,
what you speak
you
of.
don't know you don't know nothing about the pigeon gutter clone, the rat gutter clone, the dog that you sent to the
I
pools.
don't know what
Oh,
you speak of, Chris.
okay, okay.
That's not me, bro. That's not
Oh,
me.
okay,
I don't know
okay,
what you
got you,
mean, man.
got you. I'll go check out your clone pool later.
So one interesting thing, since you guys are talking about wallet tracking, I actually think wallet tracking is one of the most important things. The thing is just you need to know who to track and how to optimize the system for whatever you use. Like, for example, I use Telegram. All my notifications comes through Telegram, which is just easy for me because I have so many Discord pop-ups all the time that if it was Discord, I'd just miss it. But since it's Telegram, it's a different service. It pops up on the top, and I see it instantly every time, and it's a different sound, right? But wallet tracking is extremely important, and I think finding people you want to wallet track and understanding how they work as well, how they buy, do they instant sell, what do they do? There's a lot of people that buy a lot of stuff and they don't really dump, they just buy, and they never stop, right? Like Dingaling is a perfect example.
Yes.
Those people are really good bullish sign, right? Where other people that maybe mint 100, 200, 300, 800 even, 1,000, and they just instantly start selling all of them. I mean, that's not great for you, right? Because you need a lot more buy pressure to get through that. So wallet tracking and understand how people operate in the space is really important, and I think it's extremely undervalued.
That's great, Alpha. And that's, I mean, this is brought to you by Ninjalerts, which is a wallet tracking app. And you can just actually set your own curated feed at the top left where it says feed and literally just add wallets that are either profitable traders or just wallets, the custom wallets and stuff. So we do talk about that a lot on here, but what you said is key. You know, I feel like I made the mistake of just following Wells when I first downloaded or when I first got Ninjalerts, and it kind of got me burnt because I would try to follow their plays, but then they would brick the floors and like quickly, you know, and I would be part of that. So yeah, absolutely. But when I see JJ buy into something, I think about it a little bit harder. And JJ sometimes buys a lot of stuff, but you know, I know JJ puts a lot of time and effort into what he goes into, so it makes me definitely want to look into it a little bit more too.
Yeah, and I
Do
mean,
you
that's,
use? No, go ahead.
that's my point, right? It's really important to understand why you're following this specific person and how does he operate, right? Because like if you just follow a guy that's going to dump on you 2 seconds later, that's not so great because you just become exit liquidity, right? That's not what you want to be. So it's really important to actually understand them.
Do you use your main wallet often, or do you mostly just spread it all out?
I mostly use alt wallets right now because I have a checkmark on OpenSea and ran into the problem that when I start selling, other people start listing as well, and it just became really annoying. So it's a lot easier to just essentially dumb on people on all wallets, right? So I don't want to use my main as much because it's way harder. It just feels like it's an added challenge, and I want it to be as easy as possible.
Okay, who would you follow other than Dingling?
I don't actually track Dingling. That's just a good example because every time he buys something, people talk about it. And I mean, Discord, I mean, track it. Who I'm tracking, I don't want to disclose because I think it's people that most people don't track. So I feel like that's something I
Oh,
should
you don't
keep
want to let
about.
us have the sauce, Wicked? Come on, bro. All right, give us one person that people may know.
Um,
Are they top 1,000 traders?
I think they're all top 1,000 traders potentially, but I can't give you a name. And I'm also following the alt wallets too, right? So I mean, it's not just the main wallet.
Oh, really? So wow, you go deep. You follow their main and their alt wallets. Oh man. So that's pretty. So you won't let us know that, man. I was hoping you'd tell us so we could start tracking them too and start tracking you as well. Because Chris is good at that.
I
He's
mean,
good at tracking wallets, bro.
I mean, you
This
can't give out
guy.
the best alpha, right? If you give it out, then you don't have it anymore at the end of the day. So
That's true, man.
What I'll put in
I
my
do.
Hideout wallet application, or my Hideout application is I track wallets.
I do want to mention that Pothead, Satoshi's mom, which is a friend of the show, he just dropped Potheads. This is my first time seeing it. It looks kind of cool. So it's currently doing okay. But it just dropped. It looks like it was minted for 0. So it was a free drop. Wondering why he didn't tell us about this. but yeah, I just noticed it on the trends page. People are minting him. So I got to mention
I see
it.
Mitch is still getting rid of those boxes, the bottom right Genesis boxes.
Oh yeah,
He's been dumping those for like months.
yeah.
I mean, they pumped a lot today. Here's
Yeah, because of the
actually
news.
some alpha that you can't use anymore because it's been used already. Then the Genesis boxes started pumping along with doodles. We were talking about buying doodles in our Discord. I was in bed, so I was like, I'm gonna miss it anyways. Whatever, I don't care. I got to my PC like 10 minutes later, or whatever, and people talking about the Genesis boxes. They're gonna be next, right? Which they ended up being. They pumped by 50%, I think, or something like that, from 0.2 to 0.31 or something like that. But the alpha is you could have bought Genesis boxes on SudoSwap for 0.21, and then you could have sold them on OpenSea afterwards. So you could actually be buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling all the time, right? And just making a profit by arbitrage.
Arbitrage. Oh man. So pseudo's like that now. People don't. It's on Gem, right? Pseudo is on Gem XYZ now, right?
Yeah, it is.
Let me see. Let's see if we can find doodle boxes for. This is. Doodles.
I mean, they should have dropped now, right? Because people arbitrage since for hours, essentially. So, but that's also why they didn't really go up that much because there's so much volume or so many boxes coming in all the time from Sudo over to OpenSea.
Genesis box. Okay, here we go. Not a lot is here.
I don't think that's the right one.
I know the sign is off. Something is off. I got screwed before when I was trying to buy a pump and dump, like like one of those crappy, those derivatives that just changed the word up a little bit. I ended up buying the wrong one.
So there should be 200 plus on Sudo alone. So the one you had is definitely wrong.
Bro, it doesn't matter, man. I'm done. I'm tired. Screw doodles, man. They're done. It pumped up to 0.3 after that news, and it dropped right back down instantly. So I think the chance of eating off this new news might be over right now. But who knows? They might have something else up their sleeve.
I mean, we're still in a bear market, right? And like the macro environment, everything still looks bad, at least in people's mind, right? And that's really important. So I think a lot of people are very careful about their money. I mean, a lot of people, if you're European, for example, which I am, the prices of electricity is skyrocketing, right? So you also have to take that into account. A lot of people have less money now.
That's true. That's true, but still, there's still a lot of volume going on, though, man. It's never been the people that needed money that was into NFTs before. Because again, back then we were spending a lot of money on just gas. The gas fee was a few hundreds, and we're still buying. Now,
That's
gas is
true, but I think a lot of people also ended up getting burned, right? Because everything crashed. So those people might be more careful as well about buying. And a lot of people actually entered with like $1,000, $500. And the thing that often ends up happening is those smaller people feeds the people above them, who feeds the people above them, and then it grows all the time, right? And consolidates. So you lost a small part of the food chain, essentially.
the
It's obviously
pyramid
kind of
chain, you
fucked up to
mean?
say it that way, but essentially like that, right? So I
Yeah.
do think it matters a lot.
Okay. Yeah. We'll just. Oh man, my bags need to go up, bro. You gotta give us something before you go. We're running out the 1 hour mark. We just need a small alpha from you, man. Just let us know a little bit of gem, something that's gonna drop soon. That should
Okay,
be
so the best alpha I can give you, there is, if I give you a project right now, it wouldn't be alpha, that's the truth. The only thing would be actually liquidity. The best alpha is learn to track people both on Twitter, find the right people to track. A lot of people that are really good to track is 2,000 followers or less. You don't need to only follow the biggest accounts. I mean, there's some really good big account, but that's more for like bigger outlooks, because if they give alpha to 300,000 people or 200,000 people, it's not really alpha anymore, right? Because everybody knows about it. And then you want to be the one finding things first. If you don't find it as one of the first people, you're already late.
how do you do that? How do you find it first?
Track people, find people that are often somehow find things fast and follow them, right? And then learn how they find it and follow through that. It's basically just a long learning process, which is, for example, why we made Hideout, right? We're all learning from each other and all improving as a group, which means every single trader should hopefully be getting better over time.
Okay, Chris, you heard that? It's time for you to start finding things first, okay?
Got it,
And
sir.
bring it to us. Bring it to us, man, so we can all eat at your expense, of course. All right, thank you very much. Let me give you a round of applause for joining us today, Wicked, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys, it was fun.
Yeah, we learned a little bit of stuff, and we'll be checking out for Hideout now. Again, that's twitter.com/hideoutnfc. That's their website. If you or their Twitter, if you want to go follow them, join them, apply to get in. Invite only. Chris can't be accepted in here.
I track wallets.
That's his biggest advice too. Find a wallet to track.
Yeah. Well, there it
It's
is.
the alpha of the day.
I
Find a
fit
wallet
that.
to track.
I fit that missing piece.
Most definitely, man. Let me give you an air horn, man. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to visit ninjalerts.com/giveaway at your chance to win a 6-month subscription. That's a $450 value. So you get to track all the wallets you want, man. You could track Chris's wallet, track Chris's burner wallet, and track his third burner wallet, which I already found. And I'm tracking them all, okay, Chris? But make
Got
sure to
it.
visit ninjalerts.com/giveaway. Thank you, Wicked, for joining us. Make sure to visit Hideout NFC on Twitter. Check out the Alpha Group. Sounds like they're winning. If they all
Yeah.
minted Digigaku, when I saw it,
Yeah.
it was at 3 ETH, and I thought Risky was on drugs when he wanted to buy that. Turns out he was right. It kind of shot way up after that. Well, thank you for joining us, Wicked. Chris, do you have anything else?
Man, I think that's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks everybody for watching. Peace out. Oh.
You clicked it at the same time. All right, you got it.